This has to be one of the worst animated films of all time. It's impossible to think there is a film worse than Emoji Movie. I'd say this one is it. This one is it. This one's worse than the Emoji Movie. I'm talking about, of course, Garfield Gets Real. So much hype, so disappointing. I yeah. So Garfield Gets Real came out in between the second Garfield film, which came out in 2006, and the Garfield show, which came out in 2009 on Cartoon Network. So yeah, it kind of came out in between those two those two things. Came out in 2007. So yep. So this was the first official animated film, an animated Garfield film. Yeah. So like it was, and so it seemed so cool. It just seemed like a cool idea. It get people excited. So yeah, and it get people excited because like yeah, people loved the first two Garfield films. I loved them. They were so funny. So it's like yeah, and then like we always say yeah. So it's like this is kind of like a prequel to the Garfield show kind of thing. So yeah, and again, like if you look at John and you look at Odie in this film, you'll discover it's the exact same, they're exactly the same characters as to what they were in the Garfield show. So this is kind of like a prequel to what's to come in the Garfield show, because obviously we knew we had at this point it was confirmed that Garfield show was happening. So it's like yeah, so again, this was like there was a few reasons to kind of get people excited for this film, and that excitement turned into disappointment very quickly. First thing that really annoyed people was the soundtrack, the opening song specifically. The song they chose for a Garfield film to open the film was horrendous. It's kind of like they kind of chose like a Forrest Gump kind of song. I saw that belonged to Forrest Gump, very similar to it. So it's like yeah, it doesn't fit Garfield. Like it needs to be the do you mean it needs to be that? That's the song. Yeah, that's the song it needs to be for this film. Yeah, not like this very slow kind of yeah, calm and relaxing kind of song. It doesn't fit Garfield. Garfield is very chaotic. It's very yeah, like it's wild, and it's just yeah, it's just like a film or a show that you can just that just you just sit back and have a good time about. It's that's what Garfield is all about. The soundtrack didn't match it. The next thing I want to talk about is if you watch this film, you'll discover throughout the film, it just goes like silent. Yeah, they just like go silent for a minute. And again, like there's no music playing in the background. There's no nothing, and the characters for some reason just stop talking. It's just yeah, and it happens constantly throughout the film. Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So it's like yeah, and then again, like you can quite clearly see those like black like the animation. You see like the black lines, the kind of drawing and everything like that. You're not supposed to see them, but you can actually see like the drawings of the animated characters in the film. That's yeah, you're supposed to take that out. This film was just horrendous. It was horrendously done to the point where I I honestly can't remember too much about it. And again, like yeah, like and again, like what makes it another cool concept? It was such a good idea because rather than basing this off the characters like they did in the first two Garfield films, they I decided to animate it on the comic books because Garfield originally started as a comic book. Garfield was a comic book character. So yeah. So like they were originally animating it off of the Garfield character from the comics, not the film. So it's like, yeah, so it's such like that was such a cool concept as well. Do you mean, yeah, it's because like for people who grew up with that, like in the 80s and 90s, because that's when the comic book was being released, was the 80s and the 90s. So it's like, yeah, so it was such like a good idea, and it just was so disappointing. It was so disappointing. So it's like, yeah, John and John and like the other characters, there is not much to them. There is not much to them. It's yeah, it's really not good. And again, like I'm honestly, I'm sure I only watched this film yesterday, and I've already forgotten what actually happens. I've already forgot like the main point of the story. Obviously, like I know the main point of the story. It's like yeah, like Garfield wants to live like a real life. He wants to live a real life outside of like the comic books. He wants to he wants to do that, and that's and again it's a cool concept to do. We've seen this before. We've seen it in Wreck It Ralph. They did it in Wreck It Ralph. Brilliantly done in Wreck It Ralph. It's exactly the same kind of story as Wreck It Ralph. So it is. It's a cool concept. It's a cool idea. It's a brilliant idea. They could have done so much with this. However, it was terrible. And so it's like yeah, and so he wants to go into the real world and live his life again. Cool, and like what they could have done was they could have done something similar to what they did to SpongeBob. What was that? The second SpongeBob film. Can't remember what it was called. But the second SpongeBob film, which is of course they took the animated characters and put them into the real world with real world characters. They could have done that sort of thing. No, but they didn't. They didn't. They put them into the real world, and the real world is still animated. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Do you mean yeah, like they could, like it was just all over the place. There was not much to it. Yeah, and I couldn't watch it. It's an hour of my life I will never get back. But anyway, I hope you all like this film. I hope well don't like the film, but I hope you all like the video, and I will see you all next time.